Hello everyone, so today I'm back with another Istaria episode, and I realized last time that I did not show you where Stewart where he is in New Trismus, so that's what I'm doing right now. And I actually did record this. I wanted to try doing a voiceover during, live action, so while I was playing this game, I wanted to, voiceover while I was playing it. But the audio was absolutely crap, and I mentioned that in the voiceover that it didn't matter even if I was yelling into a toaster, that if the audio was bad then it would be bad, but after trying to fix it in Audacity and trying to do my best to clear the audio, it was not going to happen. You could hear terrible static in the background. You could hear me clicking my mouse. You could hear me basically doing just about everything on my laptop, and it just wasn't going to work, and I didn't want to upload something that didn't sound pleasing. So, New Trismus, I believe we just came from Scoutcar Island, and we're starting here. So, the last quest, which I did, but I didn't record it, I greeted Stuart from New Trismus, which was that guy over there, and right now I'm heading over to the shrine in New Trismus. This is something that you have to bind to, which means you run up to it, you right-click it, and click Bind to Object. This means that once you die, or once you want to come back to this town, for whatever reason, it's easier to get back to the middle of the town if you're trying to travel anywhere for a quest. It takes you back there, so if you die for some reason, then that is where you're going to show up, and it's important to bind to it, otherwise you're going to end up back at the starter island, and you don't want to do that because then you're going to have to run that road all the way back to hit the portal, and then travel to New Trismus. So I did finish this whole section of New Trismus in one sitting. I think it took about maybe 2 or 3 hours, so that is all footage I have to voice over and edit. But there are 2 dragon crafters. One's name is Kyrian, which I mentioned in the first video, but accidentally called Karkath Kyrian. And then there's this other dragon, which I cannot pronounce their name for my life. It's Avaridius, Avar something. I didn't clarify abilities in the last episode, so to open your abilities thing, you press C on your keyboard, click the abilities tab, and then you drag and drop these abilities into the hotkey bars on the side, which are the squares that I mentioned in the first video. And crafting, as I said, is every 10 levels, which you need to check on. That kind of summarizes it. Some abilities you can get through quests, most of them, for now, in this little town area, will be given to you automatically. And training points are aid in, there's health, so you know what that aids in. It's pretty self-explanatory. I decided not to really mess with this until later, mainly because it does mess with your character. So if you want to be a dragon that's mainly magic focused, then you don't want to do all strength in Tooth and Claw. Or maybe you do. You can mix and match, but I was never informed well on that. And I should read into it at some point, but I've been around, as I said in the first video, long enough, and things just kind of go over my head. So, I can't remember exactly what I was saying in this part of the video. I'm just kind of messing around with the things in my inventory. Some things that you can use for techniques, you'll see that in the quest soon. Some things, not everything you have in your inventory is necessary, basically. If I would just stop messing around with this, then I would get to the questing. Okay, so the first dragon you go to is Kyrian. I always get mixed up with their genders, because the other dragon is a female, which I had not thought she was. How can you tell with dragons? But the first quest is crafting skills. As I said in the first video, go to your inventory, right-click it, and scribe it. I decided I'm not going to read the quests for this video. This gameplay, I mean. During the rites of passage, which is the quest that you take to become an adult, I will read every single quest line and quest log, because I've done it. I need to actually sit down and write all the adult dragons I've had, but I've done it plenty of times, and I've never sat down and read through the lore of that, and I think that'd be interesting, because despite having played so many times, I just haven't felt a need and want to read all of it. This is also another reason why I'm not reading the quest logs now, because if I sat down and read every single word, the gameplays would be longer, and I really just wanted to have the gameplay straightforward, no quest reading, no interaction like that. It can still be a tutorial without that. Whenever I've watched other gameplays of other games, not many people sit down and read every single line unless it's dialogue. Which, I mean, I guess they're doing that as well. But in this case, it would take too long. This game is very crafting based, lots of dialogue. It would take forever. So we're not going to do that. Not until the rites of passage. And heading now to Pratt's Pond, I started to realize that there's a lot of sandstone exposure nodes, those are things that you can gather for crafting certain items. Once all those run out, you're kind of SOL. It's very disappointing, because that was a good place for crafting, and right now the quest says you need to get spell shards, and in order to do that, you need several slabs of sandstone in order to make them into spell shards. So I did stop it, because you don't want to watch me sit there for 10 minutes trying to gather all of that sandstone. So I waited until my inventory was full, until I decided to pick it up again. To record the entire process of me gathering, because gathering enough to make 10 sandstone spell shards would take absolutely forever, maybe an hour of footage of me just sitting there talking and gathering enough for the spell shards. And in order to do these, you go to create item, scroll down to sandstone brick first, because you have to have those in order to make sandstone spell shards. And you go into your little thing here, and it normally tells you what you need in the resources in order to make a certain amount of spell shards, and a certain, what machine you need to use, because there's different machines for different spells, the stone cutter works with sandstone and bronze bars, and those types of formulas, and then spell shards work with that little pedestal right there. And if you do read into the game, and they do instruct you very well on how to do it, but that's just me kind of running over briefly how to do it in the fastest way I can describe it. Thinking now of how I'm going to be leveling my character is difficult, because back whenever I did play this game frequently, in this little area at Pratt's Pond, there was tons of sandstone, and now that all of those resources diminished, it's hard to figure out where I'll be going next for crafting. And also, I have an ancient dragon on my account, so I'm not entirely sure if I will be using him at all, or if I'll be acting as if I don't have any resources, and how I would do that if I were a new player starting out. And that makes me think about Horde. Where would I get that? Which Horde isn't too hard to gather, but you would be killing lots and lots of monsters in order to get that. So now I'm taking the spell shards back to Kyrian. Basic recall button because I binded to that shrine, and then I'm going to run back down the hill, greet him, and boom, the quest is done. Once you've played, you can run through it easily, as I said. And I like that. It's almost relaxing to know that you can just go straight through it. And thinking back to whenever I first started this game, I said I kind of ran through everything. I didn't even know, like, when I first started the game, I didn't at all read the instructions. I was so confused. I was also a immature kid that didn't want to read quest logs, nor did I understand them. So going through this the second time, this isn't my second time, but I mean, when I went through that the second time, it was amusing, because I realized that basically I had missed all these easy things. Right now I am creating a Prime Bolt spell. You can do that. That's what those spell shards were for. You go up to the little scholar's desk here. You just scribed a formula, which is Prime Bolt, and then you talk to him, and boom, done. Press the K on your keyboard, go to spells, and it immediately you drag and drop it into your hotkey bar. This is it. You'll need it for future quests. It helps a lot with monsters that are far away that you can hit with your spell and they come to you. It does damage them a little bit, not a lot, and it's a bit slow to work with, but it did end up working with this next quest that I'm doing, which is killing 5 grulettes near Rancher Eden's little land or piece of land he has, which I'm probably saying his name wrong. It might be Eldon, or it starts with an E. That's all I know. But you briefly go up there, and it was on the way to Pratt's Pond, so it's not far. And with these new adjustments with the town, like before, this town was completely fine. It was not attacked by any monsters. It didn't have all these barriers up. Everything was a bit further for a hatchling to travel to get to, and now that everything's close together, it does make things easier to work with. Less confusion, maybe on new players' parts. But when I did go through this little process of New Trismus, I did get lost because I didn't realize that they had changed a few things. I also get my butt handed to me by these grulettes because I have a tendency to overestimate myself. I think that I can just murder everything I see without having a problem, even though I'm not an ancient, I'm a little hatchling. And so I didn't realize that these grulettes were a bit aggressive, and shortly you'll see me get killed. I'm not sure at what point you'll see me get killed, maybe in about a few minutes. I'm using the Prime Bolt spell to attract them and kill them. A difference I see also in the quests here are, before you had to have a certain amount of hits with the Prime Bolt spell, but now it's kind of, you just have to kill 5 grulettes. It doesn't say to use the Prime Bolt a certain amount of times. It doesn't say to use Tail Whip a certain amount of times. It's just all very loose based. Maybe this is the part where I get jumped. Yep, okay, there we go. I still haven't figured out if what I did there was a range attack that just dragged this other grulette into it, but this is whenever they started attacking me, and what really got me was they have a bleed side effect. So when they attack you with that and you run away, it still damages you. And my healing spell wasn't working, which is the training breeze I first got. And here I am running, and I'm about to die. There we go, just plopping on the floor dead. And this doesn't affect you until level 20. You get these things called death points, which then make you very slow, make you very... everything, all your stats are very low. And until those go away, which they'll show up on a little black bar by your health, they're crappy to have. So it's... being a hatchling is good because you don't have to worry about that until level 20. Which, at level 20, you're still a hatchling, but you know what I mean. A beginner hatchling. It's nice. And that was simple, so I killed 5 grulettes, or quotation marks, simple, I got killed, but that doesn't matter. We don't have to think about that. I'm going back to the Adventure Dragon, greeting him, getting the quest, kind of, like, looking over, seeing if anything's different. Again, this is my first time coming back from a long few, like, maybe a year or so of not having started a new hatchling. Once you're an adult and a ancient, you get this hatchie addiction, which is you make tons and tons of hatchies, but you never end up getting them anywhere. With this tutorial, I hope that will not be the case, but yeah, I don't think it'll be the case. So next you have to kill spiders, and those are the little... we did see those earlier by Pratt's Pond, and they're easy to kill with the other things, or at least I didn't die this time, so I guess they're easy enough to kill for a hatchling. Level... oh, what level am I? I think they're around level 6, so they're not too bad, but I don't recommend killing 2 at once unless you're ready to, I don't know, razzle-dazzle them. And yeah, running is my worst nightmare. But after having so many adults and ancients, well, one ancient, flying becomes less... it's not less enjoyable, but you admire more of running as a hatchling and not having that ability. Not in certain parts, because then you want to climb a mountain, but you're stuck because your wings don't work, but I wish I could relive the feeling of first starting out as a hatchling, because when you're first starting out, you're just striving to become an adult or an ancient dragon. All you want to do is fly, all you want to do is have that experience. And today I was reading in a chat, this hatchling, they couldn't afford the monthly subscription and they really wanted to fly on someone's account. I remember back in 2009 maybe, I had the same exact problem. I couldn't afford to buy the subscription. Now you can have a dragon up to 15 levels, so if you just want to stick around and not do anything other than run around and explore as a hatchling, you can do that. You'll also get murdered very easily, but you win some, you lose some, I suppose. I remember that, and I remember when I first became an adult, I was so excited. It is a joy unlike any other, and I may still feel that joy whenever I'm working on this character. I do like this character and their colors, since they have a new designs available for hatchlings, which are the ones that you're seeing, or the one that you're seeing now. I keep saying ones. And well, yeah, I don't know. With this, I'm more obligated to do things that I normally wouldn't do. I'm hoping, yeah, as I said earlier, I keep referencing to the last video, but if you haven't seen that, you can go ahead and check that out. It's not as energetic as this one, and it's a bit rough, but I'm hoping to expand on my vocabulary, or hopefully my topics. Right here I get stuck because I'm a loser and hatchlings can't get out, so that is a moment where you take for granted the ability not to fly. Or is that the right key? Is that the right phrase there? like, look at me. I'm stuck. I can't do anything. I'm just kind of, there's nothing else to do. So I have to recall, and that's annoying because I'm right by the cave, but there's no way out. So by now I'm running back. I just finished the spider hatchling. Okay, spider hatchling quests, and those are the first 2 quests that you do here in New Trismus. And that summarizes this episode. The next episode will have hopefully more gosh, I don't know what I'm saying. More quests in together in a around 20-minute period, 30-minute period. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was enjoyable, more enjoyable than the last one. As I said, do hope to improve on my topic sort of things to talk about. If you have any suggestions, go ahead, or any ideas or anything along that side of things. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and you can always subscribe if you'd like to as well.